does a wonderful job at communicating everything we need him to do. Young people got skills, y'all. And we are also going to introduce our board members. The first one is, I'm sorry, other team members. Crystal Hurst is located in New Orleans currently, but she will also be doing some paralegal work in the Atlanta metro area as well. She is also our policy advocacy and funding coordinator. So she finds money for us. And she, another arm of what Frontline does is we do policy advocacy work on behalf of justice-impacted folks and folks living with HIV. And then we have Cameron Johnson, who is our other case manager. We just hired him this year and to assist with jail visits and prison visits down in New Orleans. Did we lose our PowerPoint? I can keep moving forward until we figure out everything. So I would like to introduce, and I also wanted to introduce our, we have defined her unofficially as our coach and as our mentor, and that's Nina Bankhead Smith. Nina Smith Bankhead from Emory Compass. Emory Compass has gotten Frontline on this journey, started us on this journey. From those fabulous Know Your Rights in Healthcare brochures that we have developed, we have one for New Orleans, and we also have one that we specifically designed for Georgia. And the target population for those are for folks who are hesitant about navigating the healthcare system. So we've included information to assist them to know what their rights are. And we have some for you to take back to your agencies, organizations, and fellow peeps. And Nina, would you like to say anything?
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Emory University and the Gilead Compass Initiative, I just want to thank you all for coming and supporting Frontline. Frontline has been one of our model agencies, and so I remember we started working with Frontline through one of our training programs in Orlando. I think it was a grant writing training. And from, I think that was in 2018 or 19? And from that moment, Frontline has really capitalized and utilized all of the services and resources and everything that we have to offer at our project. And so just to give you all a quick idea of what we do, the Gilead Compass Initiative, the Gilead Compass Initiative is a $100 million commitment from Gilead Sciences to support capacity building or to support Southern organizations. And so right now we operate out of 12 states. We cover 12 states. We have 4 coordinating centers that each have a slightly different area of focus, and the Emory Center focuses on organizational development and capacity building. And so again, we've really enjoyed working with Frontline. They've made a lot of great strides. I was really excited to hear that they rebranded themselves and expanded to the Atlanta area, as well as kept their services in New Orleans. So I just want to thank you on behalf of our team for being great. Penny and Louise have spoken at some of our different trainings and events. They served as experts on panels and all of that. So I just encourage you all to just check us out, look us up, see what kind of services we may be able to support you all with, and I think that's it.
And Orrin, we definitely want to connect you with Nina. The next person I would like to give thanks and huge shout out to is Brittany Johnson for restoring one's hope of Atlanta. She and Chad met. The word for the quarter for me is serendipitous. So they met serendipitously, and Chad learned about the options that organizations have to use this space with all of these brilliant things. We didn't have to do nothing but show up today, y'all. So I would love for y'all to give the crew a hand who made this possible. And they have bent over backwards to make sure that our program today is done with excellence. And then also back behind the screen, who's trying to get our PowerPoint back up, is Miss, I want to get her whole name correct, Miss Tamika Patton Watkins. She is the special events director here. And again, as I said, we didn't have to do anything. And she told me, she said, if I have a question, I'll call you. I didn't get one call from her. And so they navigated and did everything for us, including the delicious, homemade, from scratch, theme-based cupcakes that y'all see back there. Where's the baker? Okay. So the young lady with the black apron on is the one who did the cupcakes. Next, we'll go to, how are we doing back there, Tamika? Next, we'll go to the introduction of our board members. We have a new board. We have 3 new board members to align with 2 others who are in New Orleans. The first one, her name is Sasha Newstate. Sasha is in New Orleans, wasn't able to make it today, but thanked us for the invite. The second one is Cynthia C.C. Simmons, that a number of you may know. There she is. And she comes to us with a wealth of justice-informed work from the state of New York. And she's the beautiful face behind the mask that you all have been checking in with. And a true go-getter. And I'm going to see if she has anything she would like to say.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say I'm grateful to get a chance to utilize my skills on this board. I also sit on another board, but this is the board we're here for today. And I'm just grateful that Penny invited me to be a part of her board, where I could share my wealth of information from working in the prison system for over 15, almost 20 years. In New York.
And so we have a mixture of folks on our board because we are now located in two states. We have 3 from New Orleans and 3 here and 2 here in Georgia. And the other one who was supposed to be here and give a presentation on Prep for All, Prepping Black America. He sits on that team of folks who are trying to petition the Biden administration on including Prep for All, Prepping Black America into the national health care dialogue that's going on. Unfortunately, he lost his 4-legged child this morning, and so he is unable to join us. And he wanted me to let y'all know that there is a Prepping Black America video on prepforall.org/Prep in Black America. So please check it out. They are doing a tour of their white paper nationally. And the first place they launched it was here in Atlanta. The next place they're going to is New Orleans. And so they're doing some hard advocacy work around making sure that Black and brown folks have access to PrEP. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylactic, and it is for those who perhaps are looking for ways to prevent contracting the HIV virus. And what we are advocating for sure is PrEP support for Black women and for partners of those folks who are just as impacted. And so they can also download the report from the summit, the one that took place here in Atlanta, for us, by us, at the same link. So if you have extra reading time on your hands, which I know we all do in this room, please feel free to check that out. And next I have Ms. Jada Harris, who's going to come and talk about what she brings to this wonderful event this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Penny said, my name is Jada Harris, and I'm with the National AIDS Memorial, and we are the caretakers for the AIDS Memorial Quilt. I don't know if you all have an opportunity to see that there is a section, a block of quilt that's out in the hallways to meet you as you came through the doors. So if you haven't taken a look at it, please do. It also has Ebenezer Baptist Church's panel on there that their members made. That's part of the quilt. And if you take a look at the block of quilt that's on display out there, you'll see that there is a symbol on the Ebenezer panel, and it's an Adinkra symbol. It's called the Ibara, and it means love, safety, and security. And so Ebenezer is letting the world know that this is a place of love, safety, and security. And so the community can come here and know that this is a safe space. And we encourage you all to continue to make panels for the quilt. If you needed some assistance to get your panels going in your community, just give us a call or email us. Go to our website at aidsmemorial.org or our other website at changethepattern.org. Change the Pattern is a new program that we've launched with the AIDS Memorial Quilt along with the Southern AIDS Coalition, sponsored by Gilead Sciences, and we are traveling around the Southeast to all of the hot points where they say that HIV and AIDS is really rampant. So we started in Jackson, Mississippi, and then we went to Montgomery, Alabama, and Selma, Alabama, Birmingham. We were just in New Orleans and Baton Rouge a couple weeks ago, and we will be in Memphis at the end of this month. And so we may be coming to a place near you, and we encourage you to go to changethepattern.org and see how we can help you. Just like with Frontline Legal Services, we met in New Orleans and serendipity. And so now we provided a block of quilt for this event. We would love to do that for any of your events. We can do that at no charge to you. So that's how we're trying to change the pattern. We want to make sure that you get what you need for your community. So feel free to get in contact with me at aidsmemorial.org or changethepattern.org and use us to support your events. We want to make sure that everybody is included. And if there are any people in your community that we know we need to make a panel for, so we can show what's happening in our communities, please let me know, because we can help facilitate that also with workshops that we have. I'm so happy to see some familiar faces and names already in the room. Shout out to Thrive SS. I was with them last night. And just the connections, I had some personal issues that they were able to help me with. And so thank you for the community also supporting us. And I know you all on the ground floor, you're in the trenches doing the real work with the people, and we want to help support that with what we have, and what we have is quilt. So if there's an event that you want us to be at, please let us know, and we will try to make sure that we get at least a section of quilt to support your events. Thank you.
They're working on it.
I think we may be up on audio visuals soon. So, hey y'all, I am Louise Bienvenue again, and I live in New Orleans. I was one of the founders of Frontline Legal Services, and it was just recently, it was in 2015 that we incorporated and started doing business in 2016. But it started a long, long time ago, back in the day. I'm a lawyer, and I've been practicing since 1988. What is that, 35 years, something like that? And back in the 90s, there was something in New Orleans that was called AIDS Law of Louisiana. And it was a bunch of lawyers who got together and started a will clinic for folks that were dying of AIDS in the 80s and the 90s, when there were no drugs or services or anything going on. So we did wills, not that I was there back then, but and powers of attorney, burial instructions, all those kind of things for our folks. And as the HIV has evolved in the last 40 years, so has the service provision, certainly in the Louisiana area. You know, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, top 5 for new cases, top 5 for every single thing under the sun. Well, it's not when you want to be in the top 5, I guess, for those kind of things. Including incarceration. So Louisiana is one of the used to be the top incarcerated state in the Union. I think maybe Ohio, where somebody tried to come in and take that trophy away. Jeez. But when the service provision started to kind of change over a little bit, we were doing some other different work. We were treating the people who were living with HIV rather than the people who were dying of AIDS. And so the service provision changed. It became doing a lot of work with Social Security. So we did some disability work. We were doing appeals and applications to get your SSI or to get your Social Security disability, so that people that were sick were able to still live some healthy lives, raise your kids, do all your kind of things that you need to do. AIDS Law of Louisiana maybe in the 2000s emerged with the No AIDS Task Force in New Orleans, and then they became Crescent Care Federally Qualified Health Center. So as their corporation grew and grew and grew, the small group of people that were providing legal services to folks that were living with HIV kind of got lost in the shuffle. And especially, I was telling someone today, I said, I went to my boss, I was working over there, and I said, hey, we want to do our prison program. We want to go continue going into the prisons and helping the folks that are incarcerated. We can even do wills in the prisons in Louisiana. And then we can do linkage to when they get out. And my boss said to me, she said, well, we're not able to do that. We don't have time for that. We need to focus on what we're doing here at the corporation, And so the office manager and I left and started Frontline Legal Services so that we could provide specialized legal services to folks that are living with HIV that are currently incarcerated and recently incarcerated. Well, that was 2016. So that was him and me. And now, today, we got case managers, we got a paralegal, we got all kinds of services we're providing. I think somebody's going to get back into that in a little bit, but it's been a long time coming, and I guess we got about 40 years of history behind Frontline, bringing us to this place today, sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm gonna end there and turn it back, and turn it over to our next person. And oh, look, here we go. Oh yeah, we got our vision, our mission, exciting stuff. Is that? I don't know. Is that Chad? I think Chad's coming up.
Hey everybody. So I did want to go back and introduce our other board member, because y'all couldn't see her, but Sasha I don't know how to pronounce her, Newstate. She is a community activist in the New Orleans area and has been for some years in UCCC. And then that is Michael Chansley, social worker, educator, writer, and HIV advocate. Okay, so I am up here to talk about us on the front lines in Louisiana. So what services we provide in Louisiana are legal clinics provided as part of the Louisiana Department of Corrections Reentry. We also do case management, which I am the case manager, as well as Cameron Johnson. So we are basically the main point of contact for clients that are introduced to Frontline. We do intake, and we do an assessment, and we determine, based on whatever they need, if it's anything that's in-house, we refer them to the appropriate party, or we may work or collaborate with other organizations in the city to get them the services that they need. We also do initial SSI application assistance, and Crystal Hurst takes care of that. We also do tax prep, and tax prep is because you have certain individuals who get marketplace insurance because they make too much for Medicaid, Medicare, etc. And so tax prep is put in place to make sure that they're doing their taxes each year, because what happens is if they don't get that premium tax credit, and when Ryan White is paying for their expenses, that's more money Ryan White is putting out towards that. So tax prep is there to ensure that they keep up with their taxes, so Ryan White can implement that money elsewhere. Let's see what's next. Health education and risk reduction. So that is a part of what we do. So what else we do? We go into the prisons and jails in Louisiana. So before COVID, we were going into Orleans Parish Justice Center pretty much weekly, and we were meeting with individuals and just doing assessments and letting them know who Frontline is, what we're about, making sure that they know about HIV, the risk, and risk reduction, stuff like that. And then we were also going to prisons in the rural areas of the state. And those were a little bit more expansive because we were presenting up to 75 individuals. And we would just give them the rundown of the front line, kind of like what we're doing now and what we offer. And doing health education, risk reduction, and if anybody needed our services, we would meet with them discreetly after that presentation. And those presentations were given to people that are within 180 days of being released. So, emergency financial assistance. So, emergency financial assistance is in place to help people or get people into a stable, quiet quality of life. We help with rental payments, utility payments, deposits, just basically things that they need to maintain their stability so they can focus on their health, because we know how important health is, right? And then we also provide housing assistance. So housing assistance is in place. We provide rental assistance up to 12